some of the spotlight from March Madness with that starting. And with that being said, let's get right into topic number one. It's kind of what everyone's waiting on, what everyone's been talking about, what people are probably tired of hearing people talk about. Aaron Rodgers, all of a sudden to Minnesota, has kind of picked up traction, picked up some steam. Is that something or nothing, in your opinion?
Let's start out here, Ty. With Aaron Rodgers, we don't fully know. We can only surmise. But we're talking to a lot of people on a lot of different teams. And here's where we believe, don't know, but here's where we believe the situation currently is at. If Aaron Rodgers had his way, I believe that he would like to sign with the Minnesota Vikings. Do I think that that's happening? Not today, not next week. Do I think it's out of the question? Not entirely. Do I think it's likely? No. But again, it's just lingering out there. It's one of those things that isn't going away. Clearly, he has not made a decision about what he's going to do, where he's going to play, if he's going to play. I think he knows that Minnesota would be an ideal situation. He could go try to beat the Green Bay Packers, which I'm sure he'd like to do. He could go try to continue to own the Chicago Bears as he has in the past. He could go follow the same path that Brett Favre once did, going from Green Bay and finishing up in Minnesota. But I just don't know that it's practical for the Vikings. I think there's a part of it that's appealing because Aaron Rodgers still played, no matter what you say, at a fairly high level last year and probably could step into that team and that offense with those weapons and continue to play at a high level. But let's remember, this is a team that invested the 10th overall pick last year in J.J. McCarthy. The team is behind J.J. McCarthy. It believes in J.J. McCarthy. It thinks that J.J. McCarthy is future. If they bring in Aaron Rodgers, who knows what type of impact and influence that will have on the quarterback who is their future? That would be the question. And while I think it's come up within the Vikings organization, I don't think they've acted with any sense of urgency. I think Pittsburgh, the New York Giants, they've been more anxious to get Aaron Rodgers into their organization and get started. If Aaron Rodgers had wanted to sign with the Steelers or Giants any day over the last couple of weeks, he could have done that. But he has balked at for whatever reason. He has resisted their overtures. He has not given them a clear direction. And I think the belief is the reason he's done that is because in his perfect world, he would get to sign with Minnesota, which doesn't seem to be at this time a viable option. Now, could Minnesota come around at some point in time and say, you know what? JJ's slow to come back from his torn meniscus last year that sidelined him all year. JJ's not making the progress. JJ is not as far along as we thought. Could they then revisit Aaron Rodgers and say, you know what? This guy's going to give us a chance that we don't have right now? Yeah, I guess that could happen. Is it happening today or anytime soon? It doesn't sound that way. And so it's one of those things that I don't believe Aaron Rodgers today will wind up in Minnesota, but I'm not completely ruling it out. It cannot be completely discounted, but I don't think it's the likely outcome at this time. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Because you hit on something there that was kind of my train of thought. There is a chance that Minnesota knows that J.J. McCarthy, he's not 100% healthy, or he's going to need maybe a little bit of time with that knee to kind of come back. And the Vikings are built to win now. So it's one of those things where we know how good KOC is. He's done it with quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. But do they, want to run the risk of having maybe a year where they falter a little bit and don't make the playoffs? Now, granted, it's a, rookie quarterback for lack of a better term because he didn't play all last year. But is there a chance that they know, hey, we're in a window right now? If we can get the Rodgers from week 13 to 17 or 13 to whatever last year, then maybe that's something worth, running the risk of. And from Rodgers' perspective, I mean, it's the same thing. It's like they give him the best chance to win right away. I mean, the Steelers, obviously, we know that's what they do. They win, they make it to the playoffs. But I think if you want to talk about a team who legitimately has a chance to win a Super Bowl, the Vikings are that team if he goes and plays for them. So what you said makes perfect sense. I don't think we're going to get an answer anytime soon.
That's my guess. Now, sure enough, we may get an answer sooner than we expect. But
True.
again, Minnesota, I think, would be his ideal destination. And while Pittsburgh and the Giants have their allure, it's not compelling enough that it has caused him to act any sooner. And by the way, maybe he decides, you know what? I don't want to go to the Giants or the Steelers. I'm not gonna play unless the Vikings come along at some point in time. JJ McCarthy went through the torn meniscus. I believe he's physically ready right now. Now, his weight did fluctuate. Like he lost about 25 pounds last season. And by last count, his weight was back up over 205, 210, somewhere in that range. And so he's put the weight back on. But he's been through his own little adventure here, being away from football for a year, not playing, but he still is the 10th overall pick. He still is a quarterback that they believe in. He still is their future as they know it. And I don't think they're willing to do right now anything to compromise that.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. So it'll be a waiting game there. And for Rodgers, I think while we obviously want him to make a decision, everyone kind of wants him to because it's kind of the last domino to fall. But I can also see it from his perspective because this isn't like going to the Jets. Like this is the last stop. Whoever he chooses next, if he chooses to play again, that will be the final team he plays with in his career. So do you want to go to the Giants because you know that they're going to, you'll be the starter there? And I don't think that's realistic. So I think it's like, hey, if I can wait this out a little bit and a team like Minnesota eventually is going to say, let's give this a shot, like that would be in his best interest.
And as we tape this Tuesday, March 18th, about 8:45, 9 a.m. Eastern, at some point in time, you wonder if the Steelers and the Giants say, we're not going to wait around anymore. We're going to go sign Russell Wilson or Joe Flacco or Jameis Winston or whatever quarterback it is because we can't wait for an answer. Now, the other part about this is that it is, as we record, this March 18th. It's not like they have a game Friday or next week. There's really no rush other than the fact that all of us and their fans are antsy. Who's playing quarterback? Can we get a decision? Can we get some clarity here? But there really is no time, urgency, or sensitivity to this right now. Now, if this were the week of the draft, it might be different. If this were the week that they're opening their offseason program, okay, maybe that's another issue. But right now, March 18th, there's nothing that is pushing this along to where we need to get a decision any sooner than we all want it.
We'll keep tabs on that and kind of see what comes of that. But I think you're right. I don't know if